What is going on, Alabama fans? The Crimson Tide win the 90th edition of the Iron Bowl, 27-20 in just an absolute thrilling matchup here tonight. You had some good, you had some bad in this game. We're going to go over all of it here, but Kalen DeBoer now 2-0 against the Auburn Tigers, and can we just call this one the first win in our playoff run here? Really, this was a playoff game for Alabama, and now they advance to the SEC championship, just like God intended, against the Georgia Bulldogs. So let me know who you guys got in this one. Type A for Alabama or type G for Georgia. I was actually wrong during our live show. I thought they usually skipped a week. You had the Army-Navy game next week, but no, that game is going to be next week. So let me know who you guys got down in the comment section of today's video. All right, so let's get into some takeaways now from this game tonight. Ty Simpson did kind of have a rough night tonight. Just early on, wasn't really able to get it going. Auburn was doing some good things on the defensive side of the ball. We knew coming into this game, especially if you watched our videos, Auburn did have a really good defense, and they brought a lot of blitzes tonight. Ty Simpson was only 19 of 35, 122 yards, but the one good thing that Ty Simpson did a very good job of was he took care of the football. And, after the past couple of weeks, that was one thing that we really wanted to see him do because he was having some struggles, especially with fumbles over the past couple of weeks here. He made plays when he had to. Going to Jordan Hare, always a tough thing to be able to do. And while Ty Simpson did not necessarily have a good game, he did have some other guys really step up and help him in that aspect. So we'll touch on some of those guys. And I will say, too, Ty Simpson, 31 yards on the ground as well. The legs really did come into a factor in this game tonight. So grade Alabama against Auburn tonight. Let me know what you guys think. Type A, B, C, D, or F down in the comment section of today's show. Look, it's a win against Auburn. Now, you didn't necessarily play the greatest, but I think you can't give it less than a B. But be honest with me. Let me know what you guys think down at the pinned comment of today's video. Takeaway number 2, Bray Hubbard. This kid is absolutely insane. Kalen DeBoer even saying during his post-game press conference that, Bray Hubbard was kind of struggling a little bit, throughout the week. He was kind of sick, but didn't necessarily want to get into that too much. But, man, had an interception in this game, which really, right place, right time type of thing, went right off the hands of the receiver, popped up in the air, and Bray Hubbard was right there for it. And then late in the game, ended up forcing that fumble, which I thought when it happened, that was going to be the end of the game, but Auburn was, Alabama did do, they ran the ball a couple of times, made Auburn, use all 3 of their timeouts there, and you end up punting the ball back to them, and at the end of the day, you ended up winning the game there. But, man, what can you say about Bray Hubbard? This kid has been insane, really been one of the leaders on this Alabama defense all season long. Got his 4th interception of the season tonight. He is definitely a leader on this Alabama defense. 2 more forced turnovers for Bray Hubbard in a game which I guess he wasn't feeling very good coming into. So shout out Bray Hubbard. Man, this kid just continues to prove why he is probably, I would say at this point, probably your best defensive player. All right, we'll come back here in just a second, but first, this episode is brought to you by Prize Picks. It's the holiday season right now. Best time of the year for sports. You got bowl games coming up here in just a couple of weeks. You have basketball matchups. Alabama now right into the swing of things right now in basketball. You have playoff pushes going on. It's all happening at once. And while you and I are out here making decisions every single day, what gifts to buy around the holiday seasons, what leftovers now to eat on Thanksgiving, which games to watch here on Rivalry Week, and you can't watch all the games here at the same time. There is one place where it feels good to be, right? And that is on Prize Picks. It is super simple to play, by the way. You just pick more or less on at least 2 player stats, and if you get your picks right, you can cash in today. This is what I went with with the 2-pick power play tonight, and let's just say it did not work out for me at all here. Went with a more than on Eric Singleton on receiving yards, and I tell you what, he probably dropped like 7 passes tonight. He had a bunch of targets, only ended up with 3 catches for 26 yards, so I did not hit on that one. Ty Simpson only went 19 for 35, 121 passing yards. So I didn't hit on that one either. But look, at the end of the day, Prize Picks is extremely fun, and you guys can also get in on the action here. You can follow other Prize Picks players directly on the app and copy their lineups in just one click. Whether it's a friend, a celebrity partner, or just someone whose picks you really like, hit the follow button and check out every lineup they create in the new feed tab on Prize Picks. By the way, new feature alert here on Prize Picks. They now offer early payouts. If your lineup gets off to a hot start, you may now have the option to to cash out on those winnings before the game even finishes. So download the Prize Picks app today. Use promo code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's promo code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That link, by the way, down in the comment section and the description of today's show, Prize Picks. It's good to be right. All right, takeaway number 3. I'm just going to say the defense was okay in this game. Early on in the first half, they were playing very, very good football. But then late in that second half, they kind of did start to struggle a little bit. And when you see the final stat line here, the final box score, you see that Auburn had over 400 total yards in this game, which honestly, when I went back and saw that, that kind of blew my mind. But it really does make more sense when you look at some of the explosives that the defense ended up giving up. Malcolm Simmons had 3 receptions in this game for 143 total receiving yards and a touchdown. Had that long, I think it was like a 68-yard touchdown catch right there, like first drive, first couple of plays right there coming out of halftime, man. That's something that they got to do a little bit of a better job at, but you did have those 2 takeaways in this game as well. So, in the first half, I thought they played really well. The second half, they did kind of struggle a little bit there. So just continuing to improve on that, is something that Alabama's going to have to do, especially as they now go to the SEC championship game and they will play, hopefully in the college football playoffs. You're going to be facing some tougher teams there. So got to get control of that. Can't be good in the first half and then bad in the second half. So as of right now, I'm just going to say they were okay in this game. So what was your one-word reaction to this game against Auburn? Let me know what you guys think down in the comments section of today's video. Win is what I'm going to go with because at the end of the day, Alabama just needed a win to get into the SEC championship, and they did that. All right, takeaway number 4 from this game tonight. I thought the run game did at least a little bit better than what they've been doing here in the past. Jam Miller, was really, really good when he was in there tonight, and that was something that we haven't necessarily seen from Jam Miller a lot so far this season anyways. He had 15 carries for 83 yards, 5.5 yards per carry. I really wanted to see some more Daniel Hill carries in this game. He had 11 carries for 39 yards. Ty Simpson had 10 carries for 31 yards in this game. Germie Bernard got 1 carry for 4 yards, and Lotzeir Brooks got 1 carry for 1 yard as well. But Jam Miller really was your lead back in this game tonight. And it really is unfortunate because Jam Miller did ended up going out in the second half with what I'm just going to go ahead and call a right ankle injury. To me, it seemed pretty clear what that injury was. He got a handoff right up the middle. Right ankle got rolled up on. Ended up taking the pads off on the sidelines, and he was going off in crutches. Kalen DeBoer in the postgame press conference said that they were, going to know a little bit more on Monday. So check back with us on our video on Monday. We'll keep you guys updated on that as well. But Jam Miller, I thought he looked a whole lot better in this game tonight, but unfortunately he did leave what I'm just going to go ahead and call a right ankle injury. Takeaway number 5, Isaiah Horton was extremely clutch in this game tonight for the Crimson Tide. Like I said, they struggled in this game, especially, in the red zone. being able to score touchdowns. And Isaiah Horton had the hat trick. He had 3 touchdowns in this game, for Alabama. I believe he wasn't even he was the leading receiver for Alabama here tonight. He had 5 catches for only 35 yards. Really, the red zone was where he started to cook. That first pass back of the end zone, got the toe tap down there in the end zone. And, man, even that throw from Ty Simpson late in that game for the 3rd touchdown, that was a tight window throw. So shout out Ty Simpson on that as well. Isaiah Horton really did come in clutch here for Alabama tonight. And, while we're talking about it here tonight, we have talked about Connor Talty a lot over the past couple of weeks here. 3 for 3 on field goals tonight. 9 total points, really 9, 10, 11 for Connor Talty tonight. That was the reason, if you want to boil it down to that, why you ended up winning this game here tonight. If you want to say that the missed field goal for Oklahoma was the reason that you ended up losing that game a couple of weeks ago, I think it's also fair to say Connor Talty, his performance tonight, 3 for 3 on field goals, 2 for 2 on extra points, also another reason why you won this game tonight. He scored 11 points. You only ended up winning by 7. So shout out Connor Talty as well. He had a really good game tonight. Make sure you guys are subscribed right here to the Alabama Football Report. We will continue to keep you guys updated. We will be live for that SEC championship game next week versus Georgia. So you guys can go ahead and get those early score predictions down there in the comments section if you want as well. But make sure you are subscribed right here to the Alabama Football Report.